In this crime story, theories of a hit permeated this quiet Houston suburban neighborhood. It all began on January 24, 2014, at a home in Coles Crossing, where the decomposing bodies of a couple, Mao Ye-sun, age 50, and his wife, Mei Shi, age 49, were found. The scene was a massacre. Unfortunately, the killer or killers also took the lives of their two small children, 9-year-old Timothy and 7-year-old Titus. The family's remains weren't discovered until neighbors started to smell a foul odor almost a week after the incident. The Chinese family lived in Cypress, Harris County, Houston. The husband was an engineer, and the children went to Sampson Elementary. Neighbors were familiar with the two brothers as their kids participated in several activities with them.
It was gut-wrenching and scary. My kids couldn't sleep. They were afraid of the dark. Stopped wanting to go to school.
Mao Ye-sun was last seen alive when he went to work that Friday. On January 30th, 2014, homicide investigators with the Harris County Sheriff's Office responded to calls for a welfare check. They arrived at the residence on Foster's Creek Drive to investigate reports of a foul odor. Upon arrival, they found the back door of the residence open. At that point, deputies were suspicious, but could not foresee the horror awaiting them. In every room, they found a body, all with gunshot wounds to the head. Investigators had no idea who killed the family or why anyone would want them dead. The news of the massacre stunned the community, and the Houston Chinese Alliance and Crime Stoppers offered a $75,000 reward in 2015. The newly formed Chinese Alliance held a vigil for the family, and over 600 people attended. The news of the gruesome killings made headlines in China. There were speculations that Mao Ye-sun may have been connected to a high-ranking Chinese government official being investigated for corruption. Some say it must have been a professional assassination. Others thought it could have been a hate crime. Initially, investigators were stumped as they tried to find a motive for the slaying. They questioned friends, families, and neighbors. After a series of interviews, the sheriff's department had a suspect, however. This was not disclosed to the public. As the years dragged by, many thought this was a dead case.
I went to talk to this psychologist, and he told me you might never find out what happens for your lifetime. So
the detectives were nowhere closer to solving the deadly home invasion. 8 years later, investigators traced the slaying back to a work colleague of Mao Ye. Feng Lu was arrested for the murder of the Sun family in San Francisco on his return trip from China. Unbeknownst to the public, investigators had always considered him the #1 suspect in the quadruple killing. When Feng Lu was interviewed in 2014, Lu told police he did not know Mao Ye-sun's wife or children or where the family lived. During multiple interviews after the incident, he opened up to investigators about the dispute he had at work with Sun. Mao Ye and Lu worked at Cameron International, which is a company that provides products and services to oil and gas companies. Lu told authorities that he wanted a transfer to a different department. He asked Mao Ye for a recommendation. However, he believed he was denied that possible promotion because of Sun's alleged interference. According to the affidavit, Lu believed that Sun made derogatory comments about him to co-workers, which may have been the reason he did not get the promotion. The more investigators learned, the more it did not look good for Feng Lu. FBI investigators discovered that Lu allegedly purchased a Glock 17 9mm handgun and 50 rounds of ammunition from a Houston gun store. This was just 2 days before the murders. Feng chose to return the gun a few days after the Sun's family massacre was discovered. Lu allegedly told an investigator he had returned the gun without the barrel because his wife had removed it. He slyly offered that his wife was against having guns. However, Lu's wife allegedly disputed the claim when interviewed by authorities. She also shared that she knew about her husband's disagreement with the victim at work, according to court documents. Investigators further learned that bullets found at the scene had design features physically similar to the ammunition Lu purchased before the murders. At some point during the multiple interviews with authorities, Lu voluntarily provided a saliva sample to an FBI agent. Even then, investigators were at a standstill. They had the ammunition evidence, Lu's DNA sample, and a possible motive, but they could not place Lu inside the son's home. Well, not until 2022 when they retested an old purse found inside the home again. The handle of a gray and black Coach purse found in the laundry room was believed to be Zai's and contained a mixture of DNA belonging to Zai and Feng Lu. This time, they used a new DNA software called STAR Mix, which was developed in New Zealand over the past decade. The software can separate DNA strands of multiple people found at crime scenes. The new software was exactly what investigators needed to solve the case. They finally had enough for a warrant, and Lu was arrested in September 2022. Friends and neighbors had no idea Lu was even a suspect, especially for 8 years. Lu was extradited to Texas. Feng Lu, 58, was charged with capital murder in the killings of the Sun family, where he was held in the Harrison County Jail with a $5 million bond. His passport was seized. Feng Lu's court proceedings began on December 13, 2022. Capital murder is punishable by life in prison without parole or the death penalty in Texas. The case against Feng Lu is still ongoing.